Bom dia, Carl Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal live stream, YouTube channel and podcast. I hope you're well today. Now, the reason I have on my screen staying cheerful in challenging times is I just have a number of things coming together. And I don't quite know how to put this or say this necessarily, but I think, we have the pandemic that we've been living with for what? 7 months now, 6 or 7 months, and this whole idea of the new normal of the pandemic. Autumn's here. The mood changes, doesn't it, with autumn? Brexit for some people and the concerns and worries about what's going to happen with that, or just the uncertainty, if not worries. And it just occurred to me, it's a real contrast, isn't it, compared to the very upbeat dreams that many people would have in emigrating somewhere and being in a new country. The reality is a little bit different, isn't it? And I can tell you that I heard some children's TV this morning, and it was a very evocative sort of theme tune of one of the kids' programs, and it reminded me when I was first here in Portugal 3 years ago. And I thought to myself, "Wow, I've changed quite a lot since I've been here." And life on planet Earth has changed a lot since we've been here, and a lot of the very kind of romantic, upbeat, wide-eyed and bushy-tailedness of being an expat has given way, obviously, as it would do. When you land in a new country, you're creating a new normal, aren't you? And things change, and maybe a little bit of the bright-eyedness and bushy-tailedness just disappears a little bit as you involve yourself with the practicalities of all that and create your new normal. But we've had all these extra things, and I was just wondering how everybody's coping and staying cheerful in challenging times, as I've got on my screen there. So open door, open heart, open mind. The other thing and thank you to people who've brought I dare I say thank you. I'm grateful for people who send me news articles and so on. Absolutely grateful and for all the communication that takes place with the Good Morning Portugal live stream. But one an article that was circulating yesterday and the last few days is this Guardian article about the rise of overt and more racist incidents in Portugal. And you kind of add that to the pictures where you think, my goodness, what's going on? And how does one, on an individual level, deal with all of this? How do you stay chipper and cheerful? And I think one of the things that occurs to me with that, and we'll talk more about this as the live stream unfolds today, inevitably. Always glad to hear your comments and insights on this. But we need more of this kind of elder, Arvo energy, don't we? The grandparents who are saying, look, okay, we've been through difficult times before. This is what we did. And, hang on in there. It's going to be fine. We need voices saying that, don't we, in our communities. And I don't know if, obviously, when you're an expat, you move away from your family. And I'm really glad to say, actually, tonight on the News Hour, at 10 o'clock tonight on Good Evening Portugal, on this same page, we have the grandmother. I've called her. Well, we collectively have called her Donna Jacqueline. And she is like the spiritual grandmother in all sorts of senses of the Good Morning Portugal project. And she'll be back tonight. We'll take a real deeper snapshot of what's going on with the pandemic tonight. And she'll be here to talk with us and offer a calm view of as an expat elder in our community. But where is the voice? Whose are the voices in all the speculation, all the new normal, oh, you can't do this and you can't do that, and here are the new measures? Where are the older voices? Where are the voices of calm? Where are the soothing voices that will help us get through this? And what are you doing on an individual level to stay cheerful and sane with so many challenging things going on? Let's not beat around the bush. These are quite tricky times, aren't they, for human beings? And I'm really keen to know, how you're doing with that. We don't need everybody to pretend to be cheerful when things are difficult. Let's be honest and authentic with each other. And for those of us who are upbeat at any moment, we can help the others who are just, whose heads have dropped and so on. That's what being in a community is all about, as far as I'm concerned. So I hope you get the gist of what I'm getting at this morning. And we'll have words of wisdom to share with the rest of the community. Or if you just need to say where you're at and it's a bit difficult at the moment, say that too. We are here for you with a shoulder and an ear. A couple of greetings before I take a look at the weather this morning. Guten Morgen and bon dia. Oh, here we go. Here's a way of dealing with the challenges of life. Today is National Coffee Day in the US. International Coffee Day is on Thursday, I believe. Oh, I see. So it's American Coffee Day today, getting ahead of things. Probably massive parties and all sorts of celebrations, street parades and all sorts in America, as you might imagine. And then International Coffee Day on Thursday. So we should definitely do something about it. I'm going to scribble something on my desk about that, literally. Coffee. We'll do some Portuguese coffee stuff on Thursday. You very rarely get a bad coffee. It's subjective, of course, don't you? Because I do find my mare de leite is a little bit cool, although I've got used to that because of in hot weather you don't want a hugely hot drink. But anyway, yeah, that's good news, Jim. Good to know about. That means I get to celebrate my love for coffee twice this week. Yes, we'll have our own little celebration on Thursday then, Jim. Thanks for the tip off on that, and good morning to you in Germany, Paul Williams. Elder Paul, would you describe yourself, and can you bring a soothing balm to the mental health of the community here? Hola, bon dia from a cool grey Southampton. Autumn, COVID and Brexit, very challenging, but only 16 days to go. Yes, till your life changes, I believe, Paul. Fantastic. It will not change anything, but we will at least have a warm sun on our backs. That's something, isn't it? The wonderful Portuguese sun on your back. That is definitely something to look forward to. Gary is saying it never rains forever. Sooner or later, the sun comes out. Here we go. We've got some good. I'm not going to call you an elder, Gary. An elder in training, perhaps. A young elder, maybe a yelder. And our Palavra de dia, of course, would have to be Felicidade today, happiness, given that we're talking about that in these times of challenging phenomenon all around us in society, and remembering to be happy and figuring out how to do that in these times. Frank, good morning to you, co-host of the Expat Man Cave. Here he is. Bon dia, todos. Good morning to you as well, Frank. I'm sure you've got something to say about mental health and the whole concept of how we view and how mental health has changed and how many challenges there are for people. I'm sure Frank's got something to say about that. Bon dia, my dear. Simply from Sean. Good morning to you, Sean. Always great to hear from you. Castela Branca way in Portugal. I'm on a personal holiday the last few days. Love the mornings. No alarm, no rush, just coffee ritual and looking to the fresh morning garden, rejuvenating for the soul. There you go. There's a way of maintaining balance, inner calm, inner peace and happiness and well-being. Very good, Will. Thank you. I don't know if you intended to share that with us in that way, but thank you anyway to Will Thompson. Good morning from my boat in East Midlands, UK, back in Portugal very soon. How lovely on a boat. That's the way to go, isn't it? A lovely way to live. I wonder what it's like in the autumn and winter, of course, on the boat there. But yeah, I'm guessing you're on a riverboat, canal boat, rather than a yacht, but who knows? Thank you, Elaine, for getting in touch. I can be classified as elder. I am an avo. So Grandad Gary. Yes. Okay, Gary. Official. One of the elders of the Good Morning Portugal community. Because, as us expats and Brexpats, that was a new one on me. Yes, I don't know. I hadn't seen or thought of that before. But yes, Brexpats, those sort of orphaned expats after Brexit. The Brexpats, they're not really orphaned, of course, but it's just that uncertainty thing again, isn't it? Come the 31st of December. But yes, in the communities such that we have that are quite virtual, because we're not, presumably people who are new to Portugal aren't living in the same street as other relatives. Some might be, of course, but we haven't got people down the road, and there is that sometimes the nostalgia and sadness and being away from family. So I wonder, we might be able to recreate that in some sort of virtual way. Gary there. Garvo. Garvo, that's his new nickname, Gazbo Garvo. So thank you, Gary. Bon dia from Natalie. How are you and Vitor this morning, Natalie? Thanks for saying hi. So let's have a quick look at this weather, shall we? And keep those ideas coming in, for how to stay chipper and cheerful whilst there is so much challenge going on. Lisbon at the moment, 15 degrees and clear. It's a reason to be cheerful, isn't it? Or some drilling outside. 27 degrees to look forward to today. Cloudy day. And the rain forecast, the opportunity for rain has shrunk mercifully. There's another good reason to be cheerful, unless, of course, you wanted rain for your garden. 27 degrees in the high today in Lisbon. 24 tomorrow, cloudy day, Wednesday and Thursday. Friday, a little bit of rain and cloud. And then a lovely day. Good weather returning on Saturday. And a slightly cloudy day on Sunday, but 22 degrees. Porto, 15 degrees currently, 22 to look forward to. A couple of sunny days. And then, not as much rain as forecast yesterday, but still some towards the end of the week. Coimbra, A couple of lovely sunny days. That's what it's going to be like here. 26 to look forward to today. Currently 12. Couple of sunny days. Fantastic. And Faro, finally 19 degrees. Partly cloudy at the moment, rising to 26. And it's going to look very similar tomorrow, but a nice sunny day on Thursday. So that's pretty good. Nice weather outlook there for you across Portugal. So yes, Gary is happy with that. Garvo. I'm very cheered by that, Gary. That's fantastic. And bon dia from North Wales and Andrea Pereira. Good morning to you, Andrea. Lovely to have your company from North Wales, I can imagine. Yeah, spent a bit of time over there in Bangor and on those mountains. Is it the Brecon Beacons there? Not on them, but looking up at them from the road. That's as close as I got. But yeah, what a dramatic landscape. And I imagine that's pretty moody and amazing right now. Can any listeners in the UK tell me, asks Will, if elderberry picking season came and went? And if folks went out to pick them? Thanks. Vitamin C there in the elderberry. Is it what are you suggesting there, Will? Not a very good season. Neil, and thank you. Let me just take that comment off for a minute, Neil, and we'll come back to that because we need to put your picture up. Have a look at this, folks. This is Neil's outlook, his vista in the Alentejo this morning. I'm just going to pop this back on the screen. That was our starter screen this morning, thanks to Neil Perkins in the Alentejo, who joined me last night on the Portugal playlist. Every Monday evening, we have a live radio show. And we had a really nice set of tunes last night. Some new talent that I wasn't aware of, an artist called Norinha in Porto, in the Porto area. Played a couple of her tunes, but also some classics, Amalia, and some of the fadistas and fadistas last night, as well as a few other tunes that reminded people of their youth or their journey in Portugal or whatever. And of course, Neil's cousin-in-law, Luis, who's on The Voice Portugal. And we played his tune from YouTube last night. What a voice! Amazing. Neil, keep us in touch with his progress, please. But Neil has a comment here. If you've managed to retire early to Portugal, apart from those that have lost loved ones as a result, COVID has been an inconvenience. But there are many, many people who have had their lives affected dramatically and changed forever. There are always people far worse than ourselves. Look on the bright side and be thankful. There you go. That is a pretty old-fashioned, timeless view, that, Neil, that yes, there are people worse off, aren't there? So worth looking on the bright side and being thankful. And perhaps, as we were suggesting yesterday, help those people whose lives who are worse off than ourselves. And that's, I think that's something we'll return to, is how we can best do that. Frank's prescription for staying cheerful in challenging times: I surround myself with positive, happy people. It's difficult to cut ties with people you've known for most of your life, but if they decide to stay stale and unhappy, it's not necessarily a burden you need to carry. Tough love there, I think, from FD. But I see what you're getting at there, Frank. Yeah, absolutely right. It is a tricky one, isn't it? Managing those boundaries of people who enrich your life and people who might be those sort of energy vampires or whatever. But got to find a way to love those people as well. Maybe if it means staying away from them, I don't know. It's things can be quite extreme when you're an expat, right? So is Linda now to be called Greta? Is that the German or Swiss for grandma? I wonder. So we've got Garvo and Greta over there in Alvazara. Perhaps we've bestowed those titles upon Gary and Linda. Elderberries have gone. In answer to your question, Will, the elderberries have gone. The only remnants of elderberries is the smell on your mother. FT, Frank, we should be evolving as human beings. Or the negatives from the past start creeping up and taking more space in your life. I'm loving it, Frank. I think we'll be talking about blokey mental health maybe on Friday, right? Because it is an issue, isn't it? I see. I've got it now. Okay, there's a lot of threads going on here. Blimey, Frank. Frank is he's a kind of tough love guy, isn't he? No nonsense. We should be evolving as human beings, or the negatives from the past start creeping up and taking more space in your life. Blimey, Frank, says Garvo to that. And I see what you did there, Neil. It's not Garvo and Greta, it's Greta Garvo. It's the name. Very good. Very, very good. Brian Bland. Oh, this is put the cat among the pigeons, won't it? It's put the cat among my personal pigeons. Can you get the flu jab in Portugal? I believe you can, Brian, but you can keep that away from me, quite frankly. Not a fan of the flu jab. Personal view, do what you want, other people. I'm not saying anyone should or shouldn't get the flu jab, but you can definitely, Brian, get the flu jab in Portugal. I believe, from the chemist even. How the whole sort of so much of doctorly medicine has devolved to the pharmacy. And I think it was National or International Pharmacy Day yesterday, which was like translated in one place I saw as International Pharmaceutical Day. And I was thinking, it's not like they need an awareness raising day, is it? Or to raise more money. They're doing okay, I think. And I think, some people who don't mind where they invest their money might be putting their money into pharmaceuticals right now. It's not a bad bet, is it? A lot of the British cabinet have done, I believe, allegedly. But yes, I think that question will be answered by those in the community here who do get the flu jab in Portugal. So can we help Brian out there, please? My reservations aside, nothing to do with me. Just need to help Brian out there. And you can. It's a matter of where and the easiest way, and we'll find that out for you, I'm sure, Brian, in due course here. Ty says, we would always say be thankful for good health, but like many expats retiring to Portugal, our health becomes a more prominent issue as we age, of course. We now take one day at a time and try and find something each day that we enjoy doing. That's a beautiful vision in its own way, isn't it, Ty? Thank you for that. I think, and that's the truth of it, isn't it? Whatever age we are, whatever wage we are as well, we never know. We never know how long we're going to be here, do we? So I think that's a really, really good bit of advice. One day at a time, and try and find something each day that we enjoy doing. And that, of course, ties in beautifully with the Portuguese expat lifestyle. There's always something really wonderful to explore and discover here. And you can do that one day at a time. How else can you do it? One moment at a time as well, of course. Thank you, Ty. Words of wisdom from Ty there. Frank, why are your comments not showing on this thread? Oh, okay. This might be a problem of where you're watching this. If you're watching this on expatsportugal.com, you may see a different set of comments to the Good Morning Portugal live stream. I'm not sure, but I read them out anyway. I read them, pretty much all of them out, so you should get to see or hear them. But Neil is missing you, Frank. It would appear. Let's move the Man Cave Brotherhood for good. Okay, yes. Let's do that, Gary Garfo. I'm not sure. Could you say a little bit more about that, please? And Johnny, bon dia. We picked a lot of elderberries in Belgium. Very good for the immune system, of course. And it's as though it is a divine design, is it not? Here are the things on the trees that the human beings need as they go into the winter. And they pop out on the trees just before the winter. There's something going on here, isn't there? It's as though there is some greater intelligence than ours that knows exactly what we need. Isn't that bizarre? As well as the flu jab, of course. So, Johnny, yes, thank you for your comments this morning. I have got a most extraordinary article to share with you. But before we go there, we're going to talk to Donald Schwinger, who is masked and he's properly scrubbed up in his profile picture there. Bon dia a todos. Tenha dia maravilhoso. Have a marvelous day, everybody. What a lovely greeting from Donald. Donald, do say more about your profile picture. Is that you at work? Or is that a vision of is that you just going down the shops? Maybe. Some people are dressing up like that to go to the shops. Elderberry wine. Yum, says Neil Perkins. Okay. Check this out, folks. Actually, just to let you know, before I go to this really incredible article from the Portugal resident, different one to share here. This is about mental health. It's part of what got me thinking this morning about, how to stay cheerful in these challenging times. Portugal has joined a European project on the mental health impact of the pandemic. For me, whilst I think these things are good, it does have a sort of seriously academic of a vibe to it, of course, where this will be a study where the impact will be measured, and you'll be able to find out in 5 years' time, when the academics publish their findings, exactly how you might have stayed cheerful during the pandemic. That's why I'm putting this out this morning, so that we can help each other and share ideas and get things off our chest. But the Faculty of Medicine of the University of Porto, the FAMUP, and the Trauma Centre /CES of the University of Coimbra are developing a European study on the adaptation and resilience of populations to the current pandemic in Portugal. According to FAMUP, or FMUP, the project entitled COVID-19 Stress adaptation and trauma. And let's face it, it has been traumatic, right? And we can underestimate these things. A pan-European study. So a pan-European study for the pandemic aims to understand what impact the infection by the new coronavirus is having on mental health. Pretty serious would be my layman's input there. Do excuse me. We are all aware of the impact of COVID-19 on our lives, personal, family, professional, and social levels, said Margarida Figueiro de Braga, one of the two project coordinators in the country, in a statement. The FMUP researcher explains that factors such as social isolation, job loss, risk of infection, and concern with the health of family and friends are difficult realities to face. Indeed, it's such a complex variety of challenges that it can lead to adaptation difficulties and symptoms of stress, anxiety, and eventually psychological trauma, she adds. So I guess, yes, that's how we define trauma, right? Is where you can't adapt to stress and anxiety, and it becomes more deeply held, perhaps, in the body. The first phase of the project involves conducting an online survey in which participants are asked to respond anonymously to a number of questions related to the changes caused by the pandemic. The results compiled in the different countries will serve as a basis for analyzing the processes of adaptation of populations in a potentially traumatic context. So, yeah, like I said, you'll be doing your bit for future generations, I suspect, there by the time all of this gets published. But, you know, reassuring in its own way that this is being looked at. And yes, your comments about that more than welcome as ever. Fresh comment just in. Cordial. This is staying with the elderberry. Never know quite what's going to happen. I didn't imagine I would be talking about elderberries. That would have been my palavra do dia today. Elderberries. Maybe someone could tell me what Portuguese for elderberry is. Cordial syrup. Just boil them and squeeze them. Great for mild colds and flus. The elderberry, another superfood, just hanging there from the tree, waiting for us to go collect it and eat it. Right, check this out. This I'm sure will get your imaginations going. The Bank of Portugal has incinerated. Now, 1,000 million is a billion, right? In Europe, not in America. In Europe, I believe. And the Bank of Portugal has incinerated 950 million euros worth of 500 euro notes. Now, you may have seen these. I can't remember where it was where I saw a 500 euro note fairly recently. I thought that'd be nice to have one of those one day. Since January last year, every single 500 euro note that has been paid into anyone's bank account has been incinerated following the European Central Bank decision to phase out these notes due to their use in questionable ventures. Now, let's just let that sink in for a moment. Now, this is not to say, before anyone gets really upset and worried that all of those 500 euro notes that they paid into their bank account have been incinerated and you're never going to see them again. No, you know, obviously it's not going to affect the value of, well, as far as I'm aware, your bank balance. It's just, you know, your bank balance will stay digital, according to the funny games we play with these pieces of paper. But yes, no more 500 euro notes, it would appear. If you go back and get your money out, it will probably come out in 100s now instead of 500. So take a suitcase, some of you, and you know who you are. In all, say reports, 1,900,362 notes have quite literally gone up in smoke. What a job. What a job, burning money. Who does that? Any more circulating out there will go the same way. And this is something, this is a little tip from me. This happened in India, didn't it? That the big notes got banned and people lost money. People who thought it might be a good idea to get the big notes and stash them in their mattresses. One, they discovered that those notes were no longer acceptable and they lost their money. This is what governments can do. Is it governments, or is it the treasury, or is it the independent treasuries of companies? It's a smoky business. I mean, literally here, it is a smoky business. Smoke and mirrors and whatever else found on those notes. It's always very illuminating, isn't it, when there's forensic study of notes, what is on those things. But yeah, any more notes circulating out there will go the same way. At the other end of the scale, the 1 and 2 cent pieces also appear also to have their days numbered. A good joke, numbered, see? 1 and 2 cent pieces, albeit not because of their use by fraudsters and tax evaders. Yeah, can you imagine? That is small time crime, isn't it? A fraudster or tax evader who only deals in 1 and 2 cent pieces. I mean, that's just inconvenient. Say reports. The European Commission has launched public consultation today to evaluate the impact of the use of 1 and 2 cent coins, admitting their discontinuity by the end of 2021 due to the cost and public acceptability criteria. So no longer will you see pricing ending in 99 and 98. It's going to be tricky, isn't it? But of course, the end game here must be digital money, and that's one of the things that's being shoehorned in, isn't it, as part of the pandemic? Staying safe, staying healthy, don't touch dirty money. Use your card, stay electronic. So there's a lot going against cash, dinero, at the moment, right? At both ends, it would appear, of the spectrum. The 1 and 2 centime piece looking likely to disappear. Remember where you heard it first, as if you haven't heard it already, by the end of 2021. And be careful, folks, if you do have 500 euro notes stashed in your bed, sofa, chimney. My father told me this story of a publican he knew who I think was, this happens, doesn't it? Sometimes people just take a bit of cash from their cash business and hide it somewhere. Keep it pure, keep it out of sight. And obviously that's another part of this, isn't it? The authorities don't want people being able to do that with cash, doing things that they can't track. And the electronic is so much better in that regard. But anyway, my father's friend of a friend, I think, put a load of notes collected in the course of his operating his public house. Weren't those the days when publicans could make money in a pub? Yes, believe it or not, younger people, publicans used to make money. The pubs used to be open. They weren't open all the time. They had limited opening hours. That's another weird thing, isn't it, for young people to get their heads around? Yes, pubs used to open, I think, around midday and shut at 2. And then they're opening in at 5 and shut at 10:30. I don't know what everyone's complaining about in the UK at the moment. Those were the days. And then publicans in those times, even in that short time frame, used to make a lot of money. Anyway, this publican wrapped up some cash for safekeeping, stuck it in a chimney. And one autumn morning, probably not unlike today, his son decided to have a fire. So publican junior thought it would be nice for the punters to have a fire, to sit around as they quaffed their gin and tonics in the snug, no doubt. And just like these 500 euro notes, that little wad of money went up in smoke up the chimney, much to his father's consternation, I suspect. But anyway, yes, Bank of Portugal incinerating 950 million euros worth of 500 euro notes. We were talking yesterday, weren't we, about superheroes, or we do from time to time. That's your superhero that you need, right? Get those notes back out there. Just give them away. See what happens. Just give them away. What would happen, I wonder, if those, God forbid, all those euros got into the hands of people who really needed it. We can't have that, can we? We'll burn it instead. That's how we roll in the modern world. We'll burn it instead. What do you make of that, guys? And let's go back to your comments here. So, yeah, how are we staying cheerful in challenging times? A theme that we will stay with, I think. Such uncertainty. Things have changed so much, haven't we? If we stop and reflect, things have changed so much in these last few months. And we really don't know how it's going to end up or turn out. And our support systems, like we're saying, the elders, where are they? The people you could go around your nan's house, can you have a cup of tea, a bit of cake, and she would tell you everything is going to be all right. Those are the voices we need in among all of this, aren't they? In the well-being wilderness that we may find ourselves in at the moment. The brotherhood can stand for a lot more than taking the pee out of each other. Absolutely. I hope so. Sometimes it's just nice to have a place to let off steam. And if we think we have any practical help we can give, then we should, don't you think? Absolutely, Gary. And I see us leading. There was a pub. I was talking to a pal of mine about, he's moving house and he's moving to a really nice pub. Not moving to a really, he's really, all my talk is about pubs this morning. He's moving to an area with a really nice pub, and it's a friendly biker pub. and they raise a lot of money for charity, these bikers. There's the image, isn't there, of the Hell's Angel and the outlaws of society and so on. But we know, in among this sort of the mafiosi vibe, there is also this. I'm not suggesting the man cave is mafiosi in any sense, but there is this sense, isn't there, that the gathering of men, the caretakers of society, can get together and should get together, as you say, Gary. And I absolutely have it that the Expat Man Cave will be a fundraising arm as well of the Good Morning Portugal, whatever we call it, empire, franchise. You're absolutely right. We get together, we have fun, and we look at helping other people as well, for sure, helping each other with that bit of brotherhood. And yes, outreach as well, Gary. Let's give it some time, but I think we will get there. We will absolutely get there and approach these ideas that we began to talk about yesterday of helping people not as well off as ourselves. So absolutely right, Gary. I suspected that's what you might be getting at, and absolutely with you on that. Let's dial up the kindness to one another, share food, wine, humor, music, and appreciate the wonderful country we found ourselves in. Yes, Frank, absolutely. That's why he's co-host on the Expat Man Cave. Absolutely right, Frank. Thank you for that sentiment. Freezing here in Ireland this morning. Roll on sunny Portuguese mornings. I don't know if that was the local accent of your part of Ireland there, Eugene. Probably terrible, but I did my best. Good morning to you, Eugene. One of the many wonderful brethren of the Expat Man Cave. Women, welcome as well. Don't get me wrong. Donald Schwinger is my hero of the day, says Frank. He likes your picture, Donald. Be afraid. Be very afraid. Oh no, does that mean I have to start breaking all my walls open to get at those 500 euro notes? It was you. Excuse me. Where are my Dr. Bayards when I need them? A sip of water there. Yes, it was you I was thinking about, Neil, actually. So yeah, afraid so, mate. You've got to bring down the old Portuguese breeze blocks and to get at that stash of 500 euro notes that you've squirreled away there. Absolutely, mate. Sorry. There's your job for today. I also threw 50 euro bills into the stove that I had put in my pocket from my shop. I thought they were pieces of paper. Oh no! I guess we've all done that to some extent, haven't we? And I guess the richer you are, the bigger value those pieces of paper can be, and your sense of easy come, easy go. But I guess it always hurts. It always hurts, doesn't it? But then again, it's also about cash flow, isn't it? The ability to recreate more is as important as what's been saved, of course. So yes, and that's one of the big challenges of the times, isn't it? Our ability to generate cash and make money and get out there in the market in every sense of the word. But that sounds terrible, Johnny. I'll help you, Neil. A very kind. You see, there's the brothers helping brothers. I'll help you, Neil. He'll get his. I can see him in, like that Zoolander scene where Zoolander's down the mine with his sledgehammer. That could well be Frank later, dressed up beautifully in his boiler suit, swinging his sledgehammer around, helping Neil free his stash from the wall. I love that. We have a man cave. Can women come into? Yeah, of course. I don't know. Are you being a bit of an expat old gentleman, Will, and taking exception to the fact that we would welcome women in the man cave? I don't. We may have a political and diplomatic issue on our hands, folks. My word. Nice one, Brian. My wife burns through 20 euro notes like there's no tomorrow. Fantastic. No need for an incinerator in the Bland household. Brilliant. Brother, that's better. I can see you now. Oh, okay. So Neil is seeing his brother Frank's comments. Brother Frank. Here on the Good Morning Portugal live stream. Okay, I think we may well leave it there for now. There was something else I was wanting to share with you, but will teach me. I should make notes. I get all twisted if I lose a euro coin under the fridge. I think Garvo there is getting really twisted about the idea of burning up 500 euro notes and 50 euro notes, even 20s. And actually, I've got a whole tray full. Has everyone got one of these? We talked about the man cave drawer recently, and all the stuff that you find in there. Presumably, everything under a 20-centime piece is in there as well, isn't it? And what do you do with them? I remember in the UK there is a machine, isn't there, that you just chuck it all in, and then you get a token to spend in a supermarket, or whatever. I've not seen one of those as yet in Portugal. And anyway, it might be redundant if they're just going to get rid of all change anyway, and everything goes digital. But yeah, I would like to. What are your handy tips there for dealing with the shrapnel, with the small bits of change? What do you do? Yeah, I'd be interested to know. And yeah, I can relate. Garvo says Neil about the €1 coin under the fridge. Absolutely right. Spend 2 hours getting it back out again, which is that's 50 cents an hour if you go on an hourly rate, isn't it? No, I think it's progressive. A long way from Fight Club. Don't talk about the man cave. Absolutely. I think what we're doing is having the balance of all that's good and great about having a man cave, but not getting all kind of, old school in a bad way about it. So I hope we are striking a good balance there. And I know a few ladies are. One of the YouTube comments we had the other day was a woman saying, I don't even know why I'm watching this, but she was obviously intrigued and entranced by us fellas in our debut on the Man Cave last Friday. It is on the YouTube channel if you want to share it with people. And if you're explaining it to people and say, what's this all about? So go to YouTube, go to the Good Morning Portugal YouTube channel, subscribe, and you will see the 2 hours of mirth and merriment, which is a lot better than it sounds. Ban on cash has long been the plan. Now they have one more reason, COVID. Absolutely, Johnny. We're on the same page there. Yes, Anna. What a great idea. We give them in the church. That's what they're for the collection plate. Very good. So that's one very good suggestion. Then obviously it ties in completely, as we said before, with helping those less fortunate than ourselves. There will be many a collection box, obviously, that will be happy recipient for that money. But also, we were talking yesterday, weren't we, not about having anonymous recipients and the social economies, the charity economy. Give it direct if you can. Bon dia, mi amigo. Carlos, have a lovely day. Good morning to you, Pretty, as well. How is things over there in Fundão this morning? Lovely to hear from you. Lots of love to you. Other Carl, and Marley over there. Trying to understand men better is why women watch the Man Cave. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Here she is. Donna Jacqueline is here this morning. She's broken cover to give her estimation as to why women might watch the Man Cave. I think it might just make things worse, Jacqueline. It's my personal view. Women might walk away scratching their heads thinking, what on earth is that all about? Maybe it's just best left as a mystery, as an enigma. But she will be with me tonight. Donna Jacqueline, we will take a deeper look at the snapshot of the pandemic tonight as it stands. And Donna Jacqueline will be here as an expat elder with us this evening to look at how we can safeguard exactly this subject, really, mental health, well-being, going deep into that and what we can do as the bigger, richer picture. Mental health, spiritual health, the lot, physical health. We will take a good hour to have a good, long, deep look at that tonight with Donna Jacqueline, who was very popular. She's got her own fans. She's got her own subset of fans here, as Donna Jacqueline. So see you tonight, Jacqueline, at 10 o'clock on the News Hour on Good Evening Portugal. How happy do we feel when we put on a pair of jeans, long trousers after the summer has finished, and find a crumpled up note in the pocket from last time you went to the pub and forgot about it? That is one of those very special moments, is it not, where you do find a crumpled up note in your pocket. I was going to say even better when you find a crumpled up note in someone else's pocket, but no, don't do that. Very simple. We never grow up. There you go. That is that's Garvo's explanation. If you're trying to understand men, and Eugene says never grow up. It's a trap. And what a contradiction there. What a paradox. Men never growing up, and yet we need elders, don't we? We need good male role models and elders in our society. An ongoing challenge that we will endeavor to solve in the Expat Man Cave. See you again in there on Friday. See you tonight for the News Hour with Donna Jacqueline, and see you in the morning if we don't see you tonight. I would love to be able to say that in Portuguese, but instead I'll say abraços, beijinhos, Até já, até logo. Yeah, até a próxima. Tchau.